Okay. Good morning. Today is the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Selectmen. It is Tuesday, January 6th, and it is 8:32 a.m. In front of you, you have today's agenda. I have one item that I'd like to add. It's an HR probationary status item. We could add it where we can just do it. You know what? Why don't we just do it right after the health fair, item 5. And then if I could get a motion to add the probationary status item.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. And if I could get a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Thank you. And then you have the minutes from our regularly scheduled meeting on December 16th. Do I have any additions or corrections?
None here.
Done.
Okay. If I could get a motion to approve the December 16th minutes.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Public comments. Members of the public are welcome to provide comments to the Board of Selectmen on agenda topics scheduled for review and or vote. Comments submitted electronically should be sent to the following email address: bosdistribution@newcanaanct.gov. Do we have anyone wishing to address the board? Okay, seeing none, moving on to the health fair. Cheryl. Good morning.
This is, we did a health fair in October of 2025. I had thought the PO had gone through with Human Services, but it had not. We share the health fair. So this was a health fair that JMBL coordinated to promote employee health, wellness, and engagement. The fair offered a variety of wellness-focused services and interactive activities, including health screenings, reflexology, Reiki, fitness challenges, and educational stations. The event was well attended and supported by the town's ongoing commitment to employee well-being and preventative health. What came out of this was the health department now has a nurse meeting with staff to do blood pressure clinics on Wednesdays because a couple staff were flagged with high blood pressure. So it all worked out well, and I am asking for an approval to get a bill paid. We had it in the budget, but we didn't have a PO.
Any other questions?
It's just an annual. Do you do this?
We do it annual, yes.
How many people attend? Do you know how many people attended?
I believe it was 62, but health has the actual number. But it was a good event overall. And then
So it seems like it's health and team building.
it is,
Right,
absolutely. Okay. And we do flu shots, and for those, I mean, I don't know, Public Works or Parks, you guys, all the guys attended, and I think came back with.
I know that when I was on the Board of Education, we added this item into the annual, health offerings for the town to help improve, sort of screening and, attention to health needs. So I think, the thought is that it, in the long run, starts to lower.
And we did have 4 members tagged with high blood pressure, 3 of which had never been tagged with it. So I think it was a positive outcome in the long run.
Okay. All right. If I could get a motion to approve a purchase order with JMBL Personnel Inc. DBA Health Fairs Direct of New Jersey in an amount not to exceed $10,900 for the health fair coordination.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Okay, and then we have this new item, the probationary status.
Speak because he is the supervisor for Robert.
So Robert Collins, he's finished his probationary period and we would like to have him removed. He's been a great asset to the team and he's gelled with the guys. So with his past experience, he's fit in and has been able to run any sort of equipment that we have. So all positive things to say about Rob. So
is he equipment operator all the way up, or?
Right now he's the groundsman 2. Once he passes his junior operator pesticide exam, then he will become a groundsman 3.
Okay. All right.
All right. No further questions. If I could get a motion to approve a request from the Human Resources Director to remove Robert Collins from probationary status.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Thank you. Right, PD.
Good morning. Making a travel request for Lorraine Rodriguez. She's our part-time records clerk, but she's assumed some increased responsibilities in the accreditation process for us. So we want to send her to the conference in March 10th through 14th in Tucson, Arizona. Total estimated cost for the trip is $3,175.
So what is Kalea?
Council on Accreditation for Law Enforcement. I don't know what the last day is, but it's their national accreditation
Okay,
council. They provide the standards. They evaluate us annually, and every 4 years they do a full on-site assessment. So it's a pretty burdensome process, but we find it's been worth it for almost 30 years now to be nationally accredited. So we're currently receiving state accreditation as well. So we're both nationally and state accredited.
so my only question is, you said she's a part-time employee?
Yes.
So why do we have a part-time and not a full-time employee that's in
She's
charge of
got some experience from her previous employment in Stanford for accreditation. So we've tapped into her, and being that her salary is pretty fixed, it's cost effective for us rather than having some of my staff do it on an overtime basis. She can provide assistance with it at a much better cost for us. It is very time consuming process. So it's been very helpful for us to have her assisting with it.
So is she, how many hours a week as a part-time person?
Part-time, I think
less
she's,
than 19?
yeah,
So when she goes for the 3 full days, is she on the
don't
clock for?
know if she would go to the training, does that affect her part-time status?
Yeah, we will have.
So how does that work because she's part-time?
So we would definitely need to pay her for the hours she works. With part-time, we average the 19 hours, which is 1,000 hours or less. So John would have to make sure over the next couple months that she may need to work less hours, so she's not going over that 1,000.
This is just a lot more expensive than some of the police training. So I'm like a little shocked by the price, given,
It's offset by what we get from her, and because we used to have to pay some of my staff, who are sometimes supervisors, time and a half rate to get these standards and get the process done. So in the long run, it's definitely to our benefit financially.
Is it 3 nights? Is it 4-day conference, 3 nights? I'm just trying to.
I think it's 4 nights,
When
10th to the 14th. So
Okay.
she would be there likely on the 9th. So we'll make sure that we set that up.
well, we have to do that before we approve it. So are we all set? Like, because I don't want to go through this again with the nights.
we'll prove it for more, and if it's less, it's okay.
Okay, why don't we table this, and it's not until March. Why don't we make sure we've got everybody on the same like dates and everything else? Because otherwise it's going to have to come back anyway.
Can we just approve from the 9th to the 14th
Well,
travel?
Book it and stuff, right?
um,
The conference is the 11th through the 14th.
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then, all right, if it's the 10th,
So as written, 10th to the 14th.
okay. All right. Joys of the internet.
So where is this in Tucson? Okay, so you guys check the airfare? Is that kind of what we're not just guessing?
Yeah, we haven't booked it yet, but that's what it's estimated
Because
at.
it's spring break week. So you're paying they scheduled it during like a high travel week.
Yeah.
That's unusual. It seems like most of these conferences are
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Why is this one in Arizona in March during spring break week?
I don't know. I didn't schedule it.
You didn't set it up there.
Yeah,
Someone
I'm
set
like,
someone set up the
really?
marketing. Mhm.
They put highest rates possible. for a warm destination.
But it is Arizona, so it's cheaper.
I don't know. Okay.
All right.
All right. You could give them that feedback.
I will.
Just kidding. Since I'm sure it's all communities like us that are paying for this. So.
Yes.
All right. Any other questions?
Nope.
If I could get a motion to approve a request from the New Canaan Police Department for a travel request for Lorraine Rodriguez to attend Spring Kalia Conference in Tucson, Arizona, scheduled for March 10th through the 14th, 2026, and a cost not to exceed $3,175.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Okay, Ryan and John.
All right, so there was correction on this memo here. So this is for the Waveney Playground fence, and the Parks Department solicited bid proposals via email for the supply and installation of fencing at the Waveney Playground. Bid requests were sent to 5 qualified vendors and 4 proposals were received. Gannon Rustic Fence submitted the lowest bid. The Parks Department recommends awarding the contract to Gannon Rustic Fence in the amount of $16,837 with a 15% contingency of $2,500. All in total asking shall not exceed $19,337. The work is scheduled to be completed in coordination with the playground's completion in spring of 2026. The funding is available within the fence/backstop replacement budget.
Yeah, the map is helpful, Ryan. I appreciate that. The area that it's going around is all laid out. You can actually see it now. So, you know, I took a drive by yesterday just to see what it looks like. It looks great. It's really coming along. So, how high? So the height of the fence is going to be calls for what, a 6 foot high, or is it?
No, this will be a similar wood split rail fence, similar to the little kids area down at Mead Park.
Yeah.
With the wire fabric. So it looks like split rail, but with the wire fabric on there, kids can't crawl through.
How many gates does it have?
Our intention is just to have one entrance gate and then a maintenance gate, which would be locked. It would be cabled and with a parks lock on it. That way we could get in there, blow leaves, and do any maintenance that we have to take care of. So even mowing grass and et cetera.
Little bit of clarification. There's going to be one entrance to it, but we're looking at possibly having 2 gates, similar to the dog park where you have a gate coming in and going out, just so that we don't have issues.
Flow.
Yeah, just strictly for flow.
So you might have 2 gates and then a maintenance gate.
Correct.
But the 2 gates will be in the same location. So if you know the kids if you're trying to watch where your kid is and without him getting out, you could stay at the gate area.
Can you just tell me that the split rail fence, is it going to be like artificial, like AZAC type? No, it's going to be wood.
No, it's wood.
I guess someone who has a wood split rail fence for my garden, it rots like constantly.
Yeah, we figure we're going to get 12 to 15 years.
Oh, that's very aggressive. That's super aggressive.
We'll get to our capital budget.
Especially
at one
'cause
point
wood
in time,
the quality of wood is declining. It's not getting better.
there.
So are we sure we don't want something that looks like wood but isn't wood?
We didn't find anything that we
Because
like
AZAC
the
is
looks
pretty
of
good.
it. Yeah.
I mean, it looks real and it's not, it doesn't shine like fake wood. I'm pretty particular about stuff like that. And
But for something, AZAC is like white, but
No,
if
you don't
you're
have to
trying
paint
to do
it.
natural,
Yeah.
I think it might be harder to make it.
That was the reason we picked
stain
this, to
whatever you
stay
want.
natural.
you can stain it whatever you want. It doesn't have to be white, I don't think. I mean, stain works with whatever.
Has AZAC come down to the point where you could legitimize 2 of these fences for 1 AZAC, or what do you think the cost difference would be? Because
I've
know-
had to replace so many fences
Yeah.
at my house. I can't tell you. Like I did that were natural wood,
Mhm.
good quality wood, and they just rot. I mean, quickly.
Is this what we have at the dog park? Right.
Yes.
And
It's
how-
similar type fence. Yes.
Down there, do we know?
How long's the dog park been there? Because we're looking forward to start replacing some of that fence.
Yeah.
In the budget cycle.
Mhm.
So starting in July, basically.
Yeah.
The dog park's got to have been there
Gotta
15
be-
years
gotta be
almost.
15.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kiddie section of Mead Park's playground, it's the same exact fence type as well.
Okay.
It is low. The nice thing is it's kind of low profile. It doesn't jump out at you.
No, I mean, I'm not saying do
No, I
anything
under-
differently.
I
It's
understand
just
what
the
you're saying.
material.
Yeah.
Because I agree with you. I don't want, and I'm very particular about things looking like wood, not like
Mhm.
plastic or vinyl. So, but all qualities of wood are diminishing. I mean, they're fast growing trees. They're
Right.
like just the quality of wood is just not what it used to be.
Mhm.
So, all right, well, I
I think,
mean,
I think they're pressure treated, or is it just straight out, like straight old fashioned?
They're not pressure treated. One of the reasons why we think it will be okay in that area, in general, it's a fairly dry area. So the posts do not get set in concrete because that will definitely rot them out very quickly. So.
all right, well, it's in the budget, I guess. I just, you might want to start like looking at that stuff because it's
Worth looking at in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for tonight. Okay. Any other questions? If not, if I could get a motion to approve a request from the Parks and Recreation Department to enter into a contract with Gannon Rustic Fence in the amount of $16,837 plus a contingency of $2,500 for a total cost of $19,337 to install new fencing around Waveney Park Playground.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous.
Any idea in terms of timing, are we still on schedule for completion of this? Yeah.
So right now, the next thing that I'm going to get into now is the grading for right around the curbing of the playground. So as of now, the grading inside of the playground's complete. The granite curbing is all complete. So the next steps would be come spring when the temperatures get above freezing or above 50-degree temperature days. Then they could install the equipment. They could also install the poured in place surfacing. So we want to have everything we can complete throughout the winter. So if they could get started on the fence as soon as possible, that'd be great. And then along with that would be the grading. That way, the next steps would also be setting the patio, the main entrance. So spring of 2026 is still our goal, and it's looking that way. So we have all the equipment right now as well.
Do we have an all-in cost on this? The grant money, do you have the?
I do. It's back at the office. I'd be happy to send it to you via email.
I think we had it in the original approval,
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
a few months ago.
But we see,
Yep.
we approve the stuff piecemeal.
Right.
So it's
Right.
just good to realize it's
Yep.
very expensive.
Yeah, and I'll add this in as well. Mhm.
I won't be
Glass
using
half
it.
full, glass half full. Okay, great.
Yeah, so the next request for approval, is the Waveney Playground grading and setting a border wall. So the Parks Department requests approval to enter into a contract with Pat Corsetti, Inc. to perform excavation and grading along the perimeter of the Waveney Playground, including installation of a boulder wall around one oak tree. Pat Corsetti is currently performing excavation and installation work for the project under MRC Inc. and has completed preparation of the interior playground and the curbing installation. This additional grading work is required to complete the overall project and support installation of the playground fencing. The need for this work arose due to the existing site conditions and was not included in the original MRC scope, which assumed a flat landscape. The cost for this work is $12,800, and we added a $1,200 contingency for a not to exceed amount of $14,000. Funding is available within the Parks Capital Account Playground Replacement.
I mean, we talked about this a while ago about how we needed to build up one side of it, and it's just a finishing job.
Okay,
All right.
if I could get a motion to approve a request from the Department of Public Works to enter into a contract with Pat Corsetti, Inc. in the amount of $12,800 plus a contingency of $1,200 for the total cost of $14,000. The project entails the grading and setting boulder wall within Waveney Park Playground surrounds.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Okay. PD Elevator Services.
Good morning.
Hey, all right, Jay.
So I'm here today for the, excuse me, to request the authorization to enter into a contract with Kone Elevators. As part of the police department renovation and addition project, the existing elevator was taken out of service. The elevator's power, telephone, and fire alarm connections were disconnected. And then it was treated like a new elevator, so we had to bring in the new services. We brought in the new telephone, fire alarm, and all the connection, and the state treated it like basically like it was a new elevator. So it was new, required all new inspections. So this work was performed under the service contract that we have with Kone Elevator. Turner was going to pay for it directly, but they didn't have a contract, so we'll just use our contract. So I'm asking for authorization to pay for this item from the town's funds. The funds were transferred from Turner's contingency back to the town, so it's a $0 change.
It just saves the upcharge for Turner.
Upcharge and them, they really didn't want to have to. Their paperwork requires them to have contracts, and considering it was done under our contract, they didn't want to pay it, and so they just waived their fees.
So the elevator now is functioning as new, is that right? I mean, it's an older.
No, it's an old elevator. An older elevator. It has a good 20 years of life left in it. That's why it was saved. But it has new electrical going to it, and it's got a new controller that we put in it right before everything, right before we went into renovation, and then the new fire alarm system was tied into it. So all the parts and pieces tied into it are new.
All right. Any other questions? If I could get a motion to approve a request from the Department of Public Works to enter into a contract with Kone Elevators in the amount of $14,178.59 for the work done as part of the renovation and addition project, including disconnection and connection and startup and testing of elevator services in the new building.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Before you go, or,
Yes.
maybe it's because Tiger's coming up, or we have, and Bill's here. We have multiple different elevators in town and with different service contracts and all that kind of stuff. Is there the thought, and I know it would be over time, it can't happen. We have a fully functioning Kone elevator, and then we have Otis elevators elsewhere. I mean, is it just because of the size of the shaft, or why do we have different elevators in different buildings?
I think that the easy answer is because we can't sole source an elevator. So we have to, when we bid a project, you can't just say, I'm going to get a Kone elevator. Maybe we would like to do that, but our purchasing policy doesn't allow us. So we have to send it out to 3 different elevator companies. Okay. So then,
and we're equally happy with both providers.
I have to speak to.
That would be my second question. Are we equally happy with both service providers and quality of elevator?
Yes and no. I mean, they're very expensive. It's like I don't like their hourly rates, but you're married to them because they're a manufacturer. And if you go outside of using them, which I tried before to use a third party, the parts are mostly proprietary, and they gouge it bad. And I'm stuck with them. Are we happy with them? They respond when we call, and we have 3 different manufacturers right now. We have Otis, we have Kone, and we have Tyson Crump over at the Lapham. So those are the 3. I know when the schools change over to some elevators, they went over to Otis. But like I said, it's the manufacturer that has to be involved, and all the inspections, anything we do are required by the state, and the state inspects them manually too. So,
is the Waveney elevator to be installed yet another?
that'll be done by so the maintenance on that will be followed up with probably Champion Elevator, because that's a custom elevator, and it's all under state approval, the same guidelines. Nothing changes as far as what you have to do. But Champion, who's going to be the installer for our contractor, he's a subcontractor. I almost like to keep them on to do the maintenance, since they installed it, they.
Right, so is that a fourth elevator provider then?
That'd be the fourth one, that'd be Champion over there. And so.
Some levels, sometimes there's benefit in consolidating.
There is, but to like Joe's point, when
you want to have the three bids, but then,
Right.
you know, it's.
Right. We don't
lowest
always
bid,
have
not
to take the
always
lowest bid.
Yeah,
though.
exactly.
We don't have to. So that's why I'm just it'd be interesting to know, do we have a preference? Like, do you have a preference in the elevators that we have? Do we have a preference?
So, again, like Joe said, it goes to the general contractor when they go out to bid.
Yeah.
If we do big projects that require an installation of an elevator, we can address it at the time. But
I just, is one lower maintenance? Is one, function better? Like, I don't know. That's not my.
Yeah, we should keep that in mind.
That's subjective. That can be very subjective because like I like certain.
You have service records, I'm assuming.
I like certain manufacturers. Joe maybe like something different. It all depends on the working relationship and where we are in time. Yeah. I mean, I like Otis because
I just like the one that runs. Like we have one in town hall that doesn't run that great. I mean, it doesn't run. I mean, it feels like it's been down a couple times. So, so I'm just saying like we should monitor that and just so we have going in the future.
So the problem happens and if you wanted to change, let's say you wanted to change.
No, I don't need to
I'm saying in the
change
future, like
elevators
even
out.
in the future, like let's say you wanted to, it's time to change the elevator car. Well, every manufacturer designs a different size car for that fact.
Oh, okay. So that's the answer.
Yeah,
that is the answer. You
Oh,
made
yeah,
the
they
decision.
figured it
We're
all
kind of
out.
married forever. Okay,
So.
got it.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning. Happy New Year. So,
Before we start, I just had to, thank Highway. We got Jimmy here and Lou. So it's been a rough couple weeks.
yeah, for sure.
A few storms, and it's just please thank all the guys for all the extra hours and
Thank you.
keeping it and the Parks Department. Thank you. Sorry, Ryan. I should have gotten you when you were up here too. I didn't go for a ride with your guys. Okay.
So thank you. So this first item is for an increase to an existing purchase order for Web Construction, WB. They supply us with our materials for drainage installation and roadway work. The initial approval was for $10,000. We're asking for an additional $10,000. Our fiscal year 25 amount was $12,800. So this fiscal year 26 amount will be a little bit higher. Funds are currently available. And this is just for additional work that we're planning to do drainage wise come this spring of 2026 in anticipation of a lot of the road work that we have to do.
So we just have more roads to do?
We have more drainage to do. Yeah. Yes. That's the thought.
Did some stuff wash out? Is that why you have did with storms washing things out or?
Mostly replacement of existing lines. So a lot of the lines that now are 20 plus years old, they were metal. So now we're replacing with plastic or concrete lines. So, yeah.
It really helps because some of these big rainstorms we've been getting and stuff, the stuff we've replaced over the last 20 years has really helped us tremendously with the number of washouts we get in erosion.
And
less. So do the new materials work better? Or are you just saying the fact that we have the drainage is what makes?
Drainage replacing the old has just been so effective.
Oh, good.
Especially when we had that August storm and just been a huge, as far as the amount of numbers of, problems, we've narrowed it down to very few erosion and washouts. So
that's great.
It's been a big, huge help. The drainage.
See, this is one of the examples, like people will say to me things like, why does stuff cost so much in town? And this is the type of stuff people don't think about. I mean, you have to do all of these things that the roads stay in place and that they're maintained and they can handle it. So, people will come and people complain, that's their job, right? But I think it's really hard to explain to people how many different touch points there are on things that you guys have to do to make things function.
Yeah.
That no one's going to be like, oh, exciting drainage, but the fact that the road doesn't blow out.
It's nothing flashy.
Yeah, you can't prove a negative. You can't prove the fact that you saved something from happening.
the idea too, before we pave these roads, changing any of the drainage too, is huge because the paving will last longer because you're getting rid of the water off the surface.
Right.
So it really complements one another. It's huge.
Question is, because it's a significant increase year over year in the amount of piping, you're going to be able to get to all these projects in this year?
Yes, so we still have to go out, but we do have some older roads that are coming up, like Silver Mine, Carter Street, that haven't been addressed in a while.
Okay.
So they'll, especially with Silver Mine, there's probably some spots where there's, open gullies we'd like to close up, and so there will be, the plan is to get to everything, yes.
Okay.
But I'm guessing next year you'll ask for a number along this line, the 20,000, and go
Right,
forward.
and the initial, come next July.
Yeah.
We'll be adjusting accordingly.
Got it.
The initial request.
This is stuff we've talked about where you stock stuff that we use on a regular basis. So if something happens, we don't have to wait. It's here, we go out, we fix it, and
That's correct. Yeah, we have bins down at the highway department where we store the materials so that if there is an August storm, we have material on site. We don't have to go to a supplier to go get it. We come back. So yes.
That's huge, having it there.
all right.
All right. There are no further questions. If I could get a motion to approve a request from the Department of Public Works to increase a purchase order by an additional $10,000 with WEB Construction for drainage materials for the highway department.
So moved.
Second,
It's unanimous.
thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
So this request is actually new to the Board of Selectmen. We've had rates that we've paid for snowplow removal and for assistance during storms. But we've never actually had it approved by the Board of Selectmen in the past. So we're bringing this to you to show you the matrix that we have for various items of equipment, pickup, lowboy, triaxle, skid steer, a loader, what have you, and then what the rate that we propose to pay for that type of work from an outside contractor, so that you can see it, and then we can codify it into one, and it's fair across the board to all contractors. So what we did is we looked at what our rates were last year. We went and asked each one of our suppliers what their rates would be. And then we asked some municipalities around, some surrounding municipalities. Some don't do this, some don't hire out, some do. And so the rates that they were giving us, some are old, like Darien-Ann's are actually a couple of years old, and they're looking to revise them. So we put that matrix together for you on the second page of each contractor that we've been utilizing over the years. They've all been vetted by the department. They do fantastic work. They know our system. They know our roads. They know our equipment, and they show up when we need them to. It's the biggest thing during a storm. When you need someone to come in and you call, they arrive. So you can see overall on the matrix what we paid in 24, 25, and what we're proposing in 25, 26. And Lou and Jimmy are happy to discuss any of the specifics on it. But our main concern is that we have gentlemen ladies that come and work hard, don't make any damage, understand the town that they're working in, and that they show up. Mainly that they show up, and they show up on time, and that they'll stay for the entire duration. And when we call, they come. If we went to a low bid situation, sometimes I've got other clients, I've got other places I've got to be. I'll get there. And then when they show up, it's way past the time that we actually needed them. So
In target those higher hourly rates, they're bringing their machinery.
They're bringing their machinery, right? We only have one where if it's a town equipment at $65 an hour, that's close to what our guys are making with overtime and medical benefits on top of it. So that's if they were driving our equipment. The rest of it is they're supplying the piece of equipment. So they've got the maintenance, the insurance, the gas, all of it, and their gentleman, or their worker. So yes.
So if you hire somebody in, they've got the triaxle, and if they damage something, is they're insured for that, or some of it just, when you have snow, you don't know. I mean, how does that work? Like,
Well, that would fall under their insurance.
Okay.
Because obviously they did the damage. Typically what, like, that's like Elm Street and stuff. So like a triaxle is We'll consider that probably be like more emergency work, hurricanes,
Mhm.
snow removal in town, which.
Right, that's if we
granted-
actually came in and
Yes.
actually wholesale removed the snow in town. Usually we do that between Thanksgiving and New Year's because of shoppers. So if we get a big dumping like we had this 10 inches and that happened on December 21st, we would have asked the honor to say, can we bring in and get rid of all that snow so that actually people can maneuver around? So you typically don't hire a triaxle to go
I was
do
just
work.
I was
in
just
the
picking
town.
that one, but
Right.
just in general,
But in general.
any if someone's hired and there is damage, that's covered by them and their insurance.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Second to what Tiger was saying, the reliability factor with these guys, these companies is huge. They'll actually, I think it was back in that rainstorm of August, those guys let their other work go and they came here to go out to Turner Hill and Valley Road to repair those roads. So it's just the trust factor, the reliability. They'll drop their other work to come here. And that's huge when you know you can rely on them like that, especially in an emergency situation like that. And you're getting good quality too. So there's those factors, weigh heavily too.
Tiger, how do you peg that number in the budget? Like, do you say historically we've got this much that we usually do and try to average it out, or?
Right, that's on our outside contractors line. So we actually reduced that line last year because we took the snow removal portion, meaning the emergency snow removal in the downtown area, out. We considered that to be an emergency aspect. So we took that out, but I'll call it the day-to-day or the storm by storm. These are guys that we will call in. Most of the time they're working in the overnight for us. So they're working from say midnight to 4 a.m. when our guys are trying to get some sleep, but we still need to keep the main lines open because God forbid there's a fire, their EMS has to get somewhere, the police have to get somewhere. So we keep the main lines open. That's what these contractors are performing for us. And then allowing our guys to get some needed rest. So at 4 a.m. they can come back out again and hit it hard so that we can open for school or we can open the roadways. But yeah, we typically look at that, and then we typically look at, we track the number of storms we've had every year, the number of inches we've gotten every year. We've got data that goes back to 2007 in that regard. And the majority of it also is the number of call outs, right? Because one storm might have 2 call outs, or you're being called back in for dusting or for the fact that like tonight we might get some freezing, right? So it's things of that nature. So we keep track of all of that data, and then that factors in as to what we've been utilizing them for, and then what we look to use in the future.
So I'm all for increasing the rates. I just think that this is a little bit high.
Okay.
So, I went through, inflation's at 2.6 right now. So if we give them a 3% increase, I would take the pickup with the plow down to 155 from 160. They're getting 150 now. So they're getting a $5. The low boy with the sander, they're getting 150 now. I'd say give them 155. This triaxle, you have a huge increase. What was is there a reason why that one's significantly more than, Peter Lanny's the only one that has that significantly high rate. Everybody else is at 150, 165. I think we could go down to, at least 160 on that. That's $10 more.
That's acceptable.
Okay. And then the skid steer.
Skid steer, they were at 160 across the board. We could stay at 160.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Let's just stay at 160 for the skid steer. Okay. 155. Okay. So we're at 160 for the skid steer and back. And then the large loader is 210. You haven't changed that.
No
one.
change from.
And then you didn't have a number in for last year. Is this 65 the same?
I believe it was 65. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's crucial too, because that's like Tiger was saying, that's,
Yep.
A time where we're trying to rebound a little bit and having trucks out, like, especially if there is no fire call or EMS call, they're on Elm Street when there's no cars, work in the center of town for us, because as you know, 5 o'clock, it doesn't matter what's going on in this town. That gets very busy.
Once the cars
it makes
come
it
in,
so hard. So
very
that
difficult.
helps us get a little jump start.
Yeah.
on that end, so.
No one has a coffee maker in town. They
Yeah,
they have to go to Dunkin' Donuts, they have to go to Starbucks.
Yeah, there's no coffee.
Right.
But you guys we've closed Elm Street off for really, really bad storms. Historically a few times maybe, but
We have, yeah, and that's in regards to when we come back in and then just blow it all into the middle and then haul it out. But yeah, we've done that overnight sometimes. Thankfully, the storms this year fell after the holidays, but
it's amazing, when you look at the size of some of these pieces of equipment and you watch these guys operate on Elm Street with fire hydrants, lamp posts, all this stuff. They're in and out of there. It's amazing. They're surgeons. It's crazy how accurate they are. So I don't want to jinx them, but
You better not.
Remind me, on the state roads, who's responsible for plowing? Do we plow? them?
state, anything with a number, they're responsible for. We're responsible for the sidewalks.
Yeah.
Outside the downtown area, but and the parks
So-
take care of the sidewalks, but
Do you have issues with them not being prompt enough and that you guys feel like, oh, we're going to do it anyways or something?
They go based off a different schedule, they're fighting like Litchfield, so sometimes they scale up way earlier down south here. And then they're like way ahead of the game. Then other times I think that maybe the north, they're kind of moving equipment where they need it.
Mhm.
Like the last storm, 123 and 124, like forgotten about, because they were kind of with the merit being the way it was and all that. So I think they centralize where there's a real issue, and then they kind of come off to 123.
they had to close the merit last storm, so that's where their focus was. But to Lou's point, so the state works, even though we're in different districts. If Litchfield is having a problem, they'll still call in our district, so their guys are staged and ready here. And they might be fighting snow in Litchfield with the plows down and taking care of it. Here, they're just staged and ready, not doing anything. So it's a little bit of a different mix across the board. But I've never had to call them and say, "Hey, where are you?"
Okay.
We haven't ever had to have that discussion. So
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
we'll approve it with the changes.
Yeah, so let me read these off just so we have them. Okay. So could I get a motion to approve the request from the Department of Public Works to set the following rates for 25-26 snow plowing winter operations by outside contractors? Equipment, pickup with plow for $155 an hour for minimum of 4. These are all minimum of 4 hours. Lowboy with plow and sander, $155 an hour.
Mhm.
Triaxle, $160 an hour. Skid steer with backhoe. Are we okay with 160?
That was 160.
Okay, 160 an hour. The large loader, 210, and the driver, $65 an hour.
there's a question on the first two. So if you have a lowboy, a plow and a sander, that's not worth more than just a pickup and a plow. I mean, are the guys supply their own sand or
No, they
we
don't.
do?
And actually, typically we don't bring in a low boy but we just put it in a category. So it's there.
Okay. All right.
Because
a pickup with a plow is more likely that you'd see that.
yes. And we also don't want them sanding, we calibrate and, we do our lane miles and
the
salt,
amounts that go out.
we handle that. So, we're not putting 3 times as much down or half as much or a quarter, then, because either way we can be in a little situation there.
So have we incurred these expenses? Because we're talking about 25, 26, like where we are now. So do we have contractors that we owe money to, and they're going to be surprised if we get a different hourly rate?
We told them that we were, that this was subject to approval by the Board of Selectmen,
Okay.
going forward. So even before the last storm, we had discussions with them that the rates would be set. We had
Looks like we have people we can pay though.
Right.
Yeah, no, I just want to make sure, like, someone was going to wait. You just cut me. But so they knew that they were at least at last year's rate.
yes,
Right. Okay.
that's correct.
I just want to be fair to contractor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
did we move in second and?
Yes, I'm sorry.
I'd like, have we done this yet or not?
Yeah. I had a question, but that's good. So
Okay,
I will
ask your question.
No, that's
ask
it.
your question.
No, I did already. So
Okay.
I'll second the motion. So.
Okay.
You
You move.
You move, I'll second. We'll
Okay.
keep that pattern.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. And it's unanimous. Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank
Didn't mean to make
you.
that complicated. Sorry.
Again.
Thanks, Jimmy. See.
Okay. Tiger and Bill. Okay. Okay.
Morning again.
Morning.
Morning.
Some of these might be familiar with this subject on purchasing energy that we've done in the past. The commodity world has changed, as we all know, over the years. So the traditional way of going out to bid and stuff doesn't work anymore. So we, in the past, we had a resolution approving the first selectman to enter into a contract, sort of on the fly. We go out, we talk to the vendors, we get numbers. They have to work with their brokers, what have you. Past year or so, it's been a little rough with the markets the way they were. They kind of come down quite a bit, as you can see by some of the numbers that we're showing on there. So opportunity came a couple weeks ago, and I got together with Tiger, Deanna, and to discuss. So let's lock in. It's a little off schedule, but that's the world we're in now, where there's no good time or bad time. It's the best time, that you try to look for. So we did enter into a contract for diesel fuel, gasoline, and heating oil for a 1-year contract based on volume, also from January 1st until December 31st of 26. This is just a review of anything and answer any questions. Although we did this as a resolution, I'm working with Ann also to put something in the purchasing policy going forward, so that it's not so subjective, I guess. If it's in a purchasing policy, that would finally be approved by the board anyhow, so that in the future we could just keep moving forward a little bit with a little more ease and a little bit more better in timing, I guess. So I don't know if you have any thoughts, questions. I'll try to answer for you.
So is a municipality buying the fuel? Do we not pay a state tax on it? Because it's $2.05 a gallon. It just seems.
There's so there's no sales tax. They removed a lot of taxes on diesel and heating oil. The gasoline still has a gross receipt tax on a percentage. It's approximately 20 cents. So it'd be with the tax be $2.25 a gallon. But that it's weird the way they do the percentages on it. So it could go from 19 cents to 20 cents, 21, depending on the volumes. It's the way they figure it out. It's calculated.
I'm sorry. So are you saying it's the gas is really going to be $2.25 a
It'd be
gallon?
approximately $2.25 with the taxes. The actual purchase is $2.05 a gallon, and it's kind of hard to calculate the taxes in when you're.
Is that reduction based on, are you comparing 205 to the pre-tax number from?
Pre-tax, yeah, it's pre-tax.
So your reduction is still the same?
Yeah. The reduction's still the same. It's hard to judge that taxing. I don't want to convolute it with the taxes.
I want to say net of taxes.
There's little fees, like
Net of tax fees.
so there's like a little fee in there for like, actually all of them, like the Lust Fund and all these little fees of 0.002, 001. It actually comes up to about, it comes up to about 2 cents per gallon on the fees and stuff like that. So again, it's a very hard thing to adjust the way they calculate it. But so if you're at 234 with tax and everything for diesel, it might be 235 and a half, 36, and the same with the heating oil. And again, overall, the overall reduction has been significant enough where we pulled the trigger on this one. It was worth doing.
And the trend is obviously going to be downward, hopefully, but it is
although oil was up yesterday.
Even after Venezuela?
Yes, which was shocking. It started the day on change and ended up up, which doesn't.
It's January 1st, so we're locked into these rates as January 1st.
Yeah, no. I and try. I'm an energy expert, right? I mean, it's like, how do we know what to do?
A lot of people.
Enough, you'll find that the market is going to be a little haywire with the whole Venezuela thing. I've learned
This is-
over the years, when you look at the world and what's going on in the commodity market, like somebody drops a bomb over in this country, for some reason they raise the rates over here. I never understood that, but that's just the reaction of the market. You know, the guys out there forecast that things get nervous, and the way they control it, they increase the rates on stuff, and it just slows everybody from panicking, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I would just, I just think to make it clear, when it says, you secure these fuel contracts as follows, I would just say net of taxes and fees. I just think that would make
For
it.
for the middle one. For the middle one, it's taxes and fees. The diesel fuel and heating oil, it's just net of fees. There's no taxes.
Okay.
Right.
So I'll just make that clear.
Okay. Is that clear?
Yeah, it's easy to
I mean,
do.
honestly, because the regular person going, wait a minute, you're getting gas at $2 a gallon? You know,
Yeah.
why? Because you're
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
you're not so.
All right. Any other questions? Do I have to read this whole resolution? Okay. All right. So, all right, if I could get a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the Department of Public Works for the approval, with the approval of the first selectman, chief financial officer, and director of public works to purchase fuels and energy, heating oil, gasoline, diesel, natural gas, and electricity is not. This electricity is not in here, so.
But it's always a contract, so it's a resolution for everything.
Okay.
It's all the commodities.
All right.
Choose the option.
Okay. Natural gas and electricity, and to execute, amend, and or extend contracts to supply fuel and energy for town vehicles and buildings.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, moving on to appointments and reappointments. Two CVs to you guys a couple weeks ago for inland wetlands and Board of Finance. I'm sorry, inland wetlands and ethics, and then Board of Finance is just a reappointment of an alternate. So I guess we could go one at a time. The first is for the appointment of Tom Brunner for a year term ending 12/1/2028 to the Ethics Board. He would be replacing Arvind Bajaj. You know, he's a compliance person for Mercedes, I believe, and I said to someone the other day, I said, when I met him, my
Anxiety. dropped
he
in.
literally just dropped my anxiety level instantly. I'm like, oh, we need more of these people. So I just was a big fan when I met him.
Yeah, I agree. Thomas is a really, he's lived in town a long time, and he's been involved with the Scouts, and just a great guy. So very happy that he raised his hand to join the ethics.
And with the skill set, if we need
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Very accomplished and pleasant person.
Yeah, it really is. So.
And understands. Yeah, that's important.
Yeah. If I could get a motion to approve the appointment of Tom Brunner for a 3-year term ending 12/1/28.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous.
Oh, okay, great.
Okay. Oh, but via phone. Okay. So second is for inland wetlands, Tom Collingham as an alternate member. We had an individual on the existing, an existing alternate moved up to the full board. So we need to backfill an alternate member. Met Tom before Christmas, I believe. Just seemed like a great guy, and maybe.
Yep, I talked to Tom yesterday as well, and I know that he ended up talking to people on the inland wetland board to understand what's going on. So he was a very nice conversation, and certainly inland wetlands is again one of those sleeper ones. It's very important, and people don't realize how important it is.
Yep.
So thank you, Tom.
Yeah.
Tom, can you hear us okay?
I can, thank you.
There you go.
Great.
You want to just tell us about yourself real quick? Well, you made the time to come, so we'll give you the floor for a minute.
Sure. Just happy to help out if something's needed here. Just kind of an outdoorsy person. Understand the need to protect the great town and the property and the land in the area. So, excited to learn about it and help where I can.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for stepping up. It's it is an important, a really important committee. So thank you for your your excitement about being on the committee.
Definitely. Thank you.
So with that, if I could get a motion to approve the appointment of Tom Collingham as an alternate member for a 2-year term ending December 1st, 2027.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. And then the last is the reappointment of Jan Schaefer for a 2-year term ending December 1st, 2027 as an alternate member. She's an existing alternate, so it's
Yeah,
just,
anybody that knows Jan knows what a nice person she is. It's just very accommodating. She's done good work on the Board of Finance. So happy to support her.
That's good.
okay. If I could get a motion to approve the reappointment of Jan Schaefer for a 2-year term ending December 1st, 2027.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Okay, you have contracts in front of you. Do you have any questions on the contracts that have been approved since the last meeting? If not,
Yep, I'm
we'll
here.
move on to Selectmen's comments. I don't really have anything to say. We have a long meeting still ahead of us.
Keep it going.
Yep. So let's move on to budget review. And so I guess we'll start with general overview. Yeah, we're only going to have Ryan here for a couple more days. His wife's being induced.
Really?
If she doesn't go before, she's being induced later this week. So,
Last day it'll be.
yeah.
Okay, how you doing? Good to meet you. So I want to do a quick introduction of a couple of things. I want to talk about this book that you have in front of you. I want to talk about what the processes look like to this point, and then some assumptions that we've made along the way. First thing, on the back of this, you have a schedule of what is happening in our meetings here for the next couple of weeks. Well, next like 4 weeks or so.
Yeah.
Great.
Inside flap here, you have a little page guide. So each meeting is going to be listed with the kind of, I tried my best to get the actual pages on here. We may be not exactly perfect, but should be pretty close to what we need to do for each meeting, the pages we need to look at. They're all numbered. You'll see them in the bottom right corner of each page. Table of contents is on page 5. So if you need to find something, I tried to, again, to put as much detail in here as I could to get us where we need to be to find the things quickly. Each section's got a little tab, so you have general fund overviews and details. We've got other budgets, staffing pages, so the staffing detail for each department. We've got our department narratives and some performance numbers, and then we have capital requests at the end. Each budget line or department or fund, however, it's should have 23, 24, 25 actuals, should have 26 adopted, revised, and year-to-date actuals as of about a month ago. And the change in dollars and percent from the 26 adopted budget to the current request. So that's the numbers that you're going to see. That's kind of how it's organized. So that's this book. Process so far. In October, we asked the departments to kind of get their budgets together, write the narratives with their new 27 expectations and things, their goals, performance numbers, capital requests, that kind of stuff. I collected everything together in November, try to get it ready for our December meetings. December, Deanna, Tucker, Cheryl, Ann, and myself met with all the departments to kind of go through everything, line by line, totals, try to aim for 2 to 3% goal. That's what we're aiming for. A lot of it we did well there. During that process, the first selectman cut about $622,000 from operating the department requests, and about we eliminated or deferred approximately $2.2 million in capital requests. So that's either things we decided we didn't need or things that could be safely pushed a year or two. Another thing to note here, when we start getting into this line by line, we're going to start seeing some items that have zeros and 0 percentages or infinity percentages next to them, things like that. I'm trying to move our account structure toward a more standardized structure that Connecticut has. It's called the Connecticut Uniform Chart of Accounts, or UCOA. It allows reporting between municipalities to be a little more consistent so that you can compare towns a little more easily. So that we're not held to that. We're not required to do that, but it makes things a little bit easier. It also helps with my sense of organization, that it helps me eliminate catch-all codes, things that just, they may have been useful at one time, but I don't understand them sometimes. So like outside contractors doesn't do anything for me. I don't know what we're spending in those categories. So I tried to move things like that to things like software subscriptions, technical services, printing and binding. We're trying to more closely align the spending with what the accounts are. So hopefully that's more easily explained when we actually get into it, but I did ask the departments to kind of highlight some of those things. So I'll hear that today. When I do the general government presentation, you'll see a lot of that from me. Some assumptions and some information. We're aiming again for a 2 to 3% budget increase overall. If we could stay below that, we tried. We're about 1.9% without the Board of Ed right now. So that's a good start for sure.
Is it 2.3 for the entire government? I mean, we don't have the Board of Ed.
Yeah, 2 to 3 for entire
Everything.
government.
The
Yeah,
whole-
everything.
the kit and caboodle. Okay.
Yeah, so, but we're at 1.9 right now.
Okay.
But not every department's at 2 to 3, because
Sure, no,
you'll
I
see
understand.
first selectman. I'm blaming Tucker and the 250th for my thing. I'm making that very clear. 250th is killing my budget.
The fund balance drawdown we're expecting is 5 million. That number doesn't happen until way later, but that's the kind of assumption we're using for now. In that same vein, other contingencies, operating transfers is some additional operating lines that we can't really fill in yet until this process gets further. So we'll fill those in as we get there. And then just a note on salaries. So some of the union groups we have contracts that are good for 27. Some of them are not. So we had to make certain assumptions there. Town hall union, town hall non-union, we left that flat. Though we did do any scheduled step increases, we included that number in the 27 salaries. Because those decisions aren't made at this point in the process, they're made a little bit later. Public Works does have a contract for 27, so that's built in. And then police and fire have open negotiations. So there's a placeholder right now of 2% per year for 26 and 27. A little bit behind on those. So that's what you'll see for the 27 salaries, is including that 2% per year. Questions for me?
I'm still going to yell, what pages are we on?
Totally fine. Totally fine.
We're going to show you this beautiful book.
I know.
Yeah, it's a great
Yeah.
start.
Was this a portrait mode last year? Now it's landscape.
No, I mean, Brian's been just a gem through this whole process to date. So thank you for all your, I know you've been really trying to front load a lot of stuff. So
Yeah.
so I appreciate all your efforts. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay. If there's nothing else,
Thanks.
probably wrap.
All right. So here we go.
Let me look at this chart. What page is that?
So we're doing recreation, 31.
Well, it's really parks and recreation. So the parks would be our first one. We'd be looking at.
Is that page 31? Do you have the same budget that we do or no? Are we special?
Parks, what
let's
budget
see. It
page
should be-
is that?
Is it in alpha order? Is it alpha or? It's right 31.
If you looked at your guide.
I
can
did,
tell
but
you.
now I don't see parks. I see, oh, here we go. Yes. There we go. I did.
Yeah, I don't know. Now, is this in our tablets too?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Is it under budget?
What's the title of it? Is that the top? No.
156, is it under?
15A, 15B. Pull that up, see if that works. That's emergency management. So that's not it.
Sometimes there's like a
I don't
separate
think this one
category if you
is.
go back for
Yeah.
budget and
Is it all included? Because it says emergency management on mine. 15B is emergency management.
if you go to the bottom of the meeting schedule, budget schedule, that's
Yeah.
it's not there. No, okay. Meeting dates. Yeah.
Where is it? Oh, if we
Yeah,
go back.
Go to the
Oh,
meetings
okay.
and go back. But that just says the schedule. I don't see.
Budget
the-
schedule, yeah,
I don't see
adopted,
that.
but I don't see that. Okay,
So we don't know what this is. So we're just gonna pay
we'll
attention.
just
here.
watch on the
We're gonna pay
screen.
attention.
We don't have it. It's not on the tablets.
If you have in the Selectmen main folder, then budget material
Budget schedule, nope, we don't have that. Let me go back even more. Oh, I see, wait, yep, budget material, yep, I see it.
I don't.
Go all the way back, go back more. One more, now go down, go all the way down.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, okay.
Yep, there we go. All right, so now Parks and Rec presentation, got it.
Okay.
Great. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Well,
You do it, but
thank you for having us here. Thank you for the time, and thank you for letting us be the guinea pigs going first.
right.
It's good. Ryan has been great as far as the whole budget process. He has made some changes on where we do things, but managing basically two different departments, we have things in recreation that was coded differently than things in parks.
Okay.
So in the long run, this is going to work out well.
Okay.
So we're very happy. So.
Short-term pain for long-term gain. That's
So very simply, going into our team, we take pride in delivering exceptional services and presenting a fiscally responsible budget that meets the need of New Canaan residents. This budget ensures the continued excellence of our properties and supports some of the best programs available for residents of all ages, from youth to seniors. We do have some few key staff changes. With retirements, Nancy John has taken over as an administrative assistant in the rec office, working out well. Ryan as an assistant, now Jeff Manella, which in your presentation that you have on your tablet, his name is spelled wrong. That's my fault. But and then in the Parks Department, yeah, completely wrong. I saw it last night. And in the Parks Department with some retirees and everything, Ryan has some new hires and his staff is working out great. So in my opinion, we've got the best staff ever. We're not going to talk about our total budget presentation request yet because it wouldn't look great, but we'll explain that as we go along. So starting into the Parks Maintenance Department budget. The main drivers for, I wasn't going to go through line items. I'll be glad to answer any questions on any line items, but I was mainly just going to give you an overview, mainly for the time. Some main drivers, both full-time and overtime, wage increases there. And the other one is grass treatments. It feels like every year for the last 10 years, that's what we've been talking about, because that's a main driver on supplies, seed and fertilizer, projected a 9% increase in that. With that said, with Jeff being hired, we're going to be bringing the small property grass treatments, the fertilize and weed control, et cetera, for the properties like Town Hall. We're going to be bringing that in-house instead of hiring a contractor. So overall, instead of a 9% increase, we're only looking for a 7% increase in that line item.
So John, is the overall 3.2%, is that mostly driven from the gas treatments, or is that?
Grass treatments and the full-time, the contractual wages, full-time and overtime.
Right.
We adjusted those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Going right into recreation administration. This one, you'll see that on paper, it looks like it's a 17.8% increase. This is one of the short-term pains. The $100,000 offset that comes out of the self-sustaining fund going back in to help cover salary offsets, that's now going to go into a different account. So that's why it looks like we're having a 17.8%, because it's no longer crediting this budget. So truly, it's a 0.88% increase in this budget. The town is still getting the money going back, but for accounting reasons, it's being put in a different.
It's not under yours.
It's not coming as a credit to our budget.
So where's it going?
It's not a contra anymore, contra to wages, it's a revenue coming in under his budget.
Okay.
So it's just flipping from expense to.
Yeah, so do we have an income statement just for them, so that'll show? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Waveney House, very simply, we've been going down. We were able to reduce over 25 and 26 quite a lot. Unfortunately, we need to go back up a little bit, and that's why that's a 14.2% increase. Salaries, Social Security, and 401k contributions have driven that.
So Joe, we had one retiree, but have we're still at the same number, right?
The same number of employees, yes. Yeah, we had some in the rec office. That was on the previous one, but in the rec office, the Deb DeMusio retired, and that's when Nancy John took over.
That's 1 for 1.
Yes, 1 for 1, no additional employees. Paddle tennis, -2%. That's only driven by, I'm going to say the IT, the cost of internet, et cetera, for the paddle lodge. Otherwise, it's staying flat. Park buildings, the main driver is a 10% increase in electricity, unfortunately. With that said, that's what we had to put in there. Otherwise, we did lower a couple things, not substantial money, but both property repairs and maintenance, we went down 3,000, and under supplies, we went down 3,500. So
For the same level of service.
we're not looking to change the service. No.
Okay.
Yes.
Just more efficient or?
More efficient, and truly, we haven't been needing to spend the money over the last few years, so why tax people just to not spend it? We don't see any problems with that. Going into Lapham, the highlight there is we saved $758,000 for Medicare. So over the since 2011, you know, with about 400 appointments per year, there $1 million was the record in 2023. But we're looking at about 4.5 million overall. It's a lot of savings. About half the people that go through counseling make changes to their plans, which will save them substantially a lot of money. So worthwhile program.
Yeah, I helped out in that this year. It's the amount of time some people like Dick Neville puts in, you have no idea how much and what he knows everything. And people, like the government system is very good, but you look at it once a year.
Yeah.
So it's like, you have to be really kind of good at computers and you just have to come up to speed. So it's very helpful program.
It's very helpful. And, you know, in my mind, that's helping people stay in town, you know, with unfortunately taxes and everything else, it's saving them some substantial money. So
we allow people from not in town to come. Service. It's good.
Great.
So hopefully we don't, because they always book up. Hopefully we don't decline residents for out of town people.
No, it's for town residents. There's a few exceptions. Okay. Kiwanis Park. The main thing is we're working still on the master plan. We have a meeting later this week. With that, Kiwanis Park has just about 5,000 people went through Kiwanis Park to use the swimming area. Main part of that was about 4,000 kids through the Y over time. So we had just about 1,000 users that clocked into the beach area. We had 83 resident permits, 25 non-residents, so a total of 105. So we're still looking at the master plan. There will be nothing in the capital request this year for Kiwanis until we get through that whole process.
So will you have you'll have public meetings discussing that Parks and Rec will have
definitely. Right now we're at the point where there's a few little issues that we're trying to work through before we go back to having public meetings. Unfortunately, with Keith Ritchie's passing, that derailed the whole process a little bit, but we have just an internal committee meeting this week to discuss a few things. Okay. So we're still moving forward.
Well, it's such a beautiful place, but it's been underutilized for so long. We've got to figure it out.
So
you know, it's funny because it's utilized differently. You know, it's hard to say because having been on that, you know, helping out on the committee, you know, it has like if you use it a lot, you get a feel for it. It's kind of like our nature camp in the summer. I mean, that's what a huge amount, and it really is kind of like an old school camp. You know, and then I think
4,000. You can't say 4,000 campers is a lot of. That's a lot.
It's a lot of people going through there. Yes,
yeah,
that way.
And it's kind of a unique camp. It's like old school, you know, so, and then there's a lot of passive use over time.
But you know, even if we did a master plan and changed the park around, I don't know that it would impact, it may improve the experience. Who knows? I mean,
Yeah. In the camp, the people operating the camp, they do provide a lot, like they maintain buildings, and so it's an unusual asset is how I would look at it. It's unusual.
So now we're going to go right into our self-sustaining fund for the recreation section. Very simply, you see a summary page up there. This is all, they're covering all its own costs. So when you look at the percentages for change, that's just fine. Formalizing and changing every year. We're trying to stay current with different programs. So that's why we're looking to make these changes.
And what's the, remind me, it's been a while, the Waveney House, that budget's going up a lot. What is that?
Waveney for weddings?
It just says Waveney House. It's 14.2%. Go back.
Yeah.
That was your operating, right?
That's operating, yeah. Yes. That's going up mainly because of salaries and Social Security, you know, who's being charged exactly where they were supposed to be.
Okay.
I'd love to say I could blame it on Ryan, but what it's really is cleaning it up and making sure
because
people
it's
are
where we're put. Okay, thank you for reminding. Because I'm like, we haven't hired anybody new. It's just reallocating salaries where
it's really cleaning up where everything is. So.
Okay. Yep.
And
okay.
we also see 401A, which is a pretty increase across the board.
Yeah.
Seems like maybe it wasn't being budgeted correctly. So it seems like it's
okay.
higher now. I think it's more accurate.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So back to the park, the self-sustaining fund. So with that, let's start with the recreation fund. So again, 100,000 that of what I'm going to say is profits goes back to the general fund, which helps offset, you know, some of the rec department salaries, Zach and myself, the work that we do, you know, our salaries are paid through from the town. So this 100,000 helps some of that coming back. There's 9 sections. Before and after school programs, summer camp, soccer, flag football, softball, 3 racket sports, tennis, paddle, and pickleball, and special events. These strong participation, steady growth across youth programs, adult sports, special events, and even kind of blends into aquatics, even though the money doesn't come out of here. So pickleball continues to grow rapidly. Supported by new indoor programming. We're working with the Racket Club, where we have some programs they're selling out fast for morning winter pickleball, so people can still play. We're trying to keep, you know, current with accessibility and inclusion. So sensory friendly access to like the Fall Family Festival, you know, starting out early there, and it helps everybody being inclusive one way or another. So that's good. Similar to the way we were building the playground, making it all inclusive.
Yeah, traditionally, you've got this is about $115,000 difference between income and expenses. How does that track sort of year over year if you look back, you know?
We can only look so far back because we've only been doing it this way. We're pretty much in the same place. We're still the most cost-effective program as far as we're concerned, the best programs for residents in town. Yeah. You know, you can't beat our summer camp rates. Flag football just keeps being more and more popular.
Well, yeah, and that's the reason I asked. There's a side of you that says, hey, let's increase our dues and fees so we can make more money. Then the other side of me, you know, when you see what we're supposed to be doing, and I always hear Steve Banko saying, hey, we need to be affordable. We need to be for everybody. We need to, you know, let's make sure
and through these programs, over 9,000 participants last year. Yeah. You know, that's a lot of people using our programs. We do offer some scholarships working with Human Services. You know, so there's the ability for that too. But
So we're competitive and we're keeping our.
We're definitely competitive. So
good.
Our camps are super competitive.
One thing with our camps is, we're maxed out at about 145 people. And our biggest problem there is the fact that when inclement weather, we need a place to go. So we go to Waveney House, and 145 people with camp counselors, we can only be at 160. And that's still on a warm, sticky thunderstorm day. It's tight. So we hope for good weather.
Yeah, but back to what you were saying, Steve, we're not looking for this as a revenue source. This is, this is a service to everyone in the town, and we want as many people to take advantage of it as they can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice that we have a little bit to offset, but that's not the goal.
Right.
Yeah.
And these numbers as well, just so we know, it's really with limited indoor space. Besides using the school for, say, 3 6-week sessions, we're doing this all outdoors. So those numbers come from outdoors. So we had indoor space, and we could kind of even obviously better retention rate with the residents and get more programs and stuff. So,
Okay, so into weddings, very, very simply, we're booking for 2027 already. As you know, the elevator's going in right now, so we're closed until we're open back up. And I'm nervous about hoping that elevator's finished, but they're working, so I shouldn't be nervous about that. But very simply, I think our income projection is going to go up drastically, with a little bit of increase of rates. That takes time, because if you booked under the old rates, we don't raise your rate, we stay the same. So I think our income is going to be over 200,000, and I really think it might be closer to 300,000.
Wow.
With just our bookings.
I have a question. Your expenses here, are we really capturing the expenses of the wear and tear on the facility?
No.
So
okay.
I think you have to
the hard
that.
part, we don't have a good way of telling how much heat we're spending,
Trash collection, the tables having to be replaced and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So
we don't exactly have that. And that's one of the things where we can always look at. When we originally set up the self-sustaining, there was a desire to not have it become a slush fund for capital projects. So there need to be, with the Board of Finance, there need to be some discussion about using that. But in our capital program, we're looking to upgrade the sound system for Waveney House at $35,000.
I talked to Michael Chen briefly about this because, the Board of Ed does their self-sustaining fund where the money accumulates over a period and it's put back into, like, the cafeteria fund goes to buy, refrigerators and things like that. And I understand that we don't want to lose oversight and approval authority over those projects, but I don't understand why we aren't tracking the individual entity's profit and using that money to plow back into repairs at Waveney, capital expenditures at Waveney.
Exactly what we should use it for.
And I think we need to have a bigger discussion about, what is the appropriate oversight. So nobody's like just doing stuff so that, there's money there. Okay, I can go fix X, Y, or Z. There needs to be oversight. But this is exactly what this should be doing. It should be like an enterprise fund. It should be like an enterprise fund.
Mm-hmm. And you should put forth what you're proposed to do. Like, for instance, like the Waveney sound system. Perfect example.
Sound system, it's going to be, it's going to be used for community events too, but it's going to be used for weddings more than anything. Right now, the DJ does all the sound for stuff like that.
But like the floor in Waveney, it's a challenge.
And you look like you have a comment. Why don't you come up? Why don't you come up? Because nobody can hear you over there.
We need a mic over there, so they don't have to keep coming up.
In the budget.
So it was only just to bring up the discussion of the reason we set up the self-sustaining in the first place and the thought process at that time. It doesn't mean to be the same. So it was so that they could open it every program and anytime they want. And the concern at that time was that they build up a slush fund. And they didn't want that because prior to that, any money that was made on the program was going to offset the administration costs, which are about $500,000 in the rec admin.
Right.
So they said the pilot year was $100,000 to take out of it to cover the cost.
Right.
So it was, as they started making more money, it was going to be pulling it out and putting it to the general fund. So it could go up to 200,000 or 300 to cover that cost. That was the original thought, but it can be used for any of that stuff.
Right.
I just in case, because that was Michael's concern in the very beginning.
Right.
As you mentioned.
Right.
So that was.
Right.
But like the wedding fund could operate like the pool.
Right.
Yes. Right.
Exactly.
And we keep that separate.
Or the sewer
from an
fund.
accounting.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
I mean,
but that makes sense because but I do think with the weddings, and I'm in the middle of doing 2 of them, so they're
God bless
crazy.
you.
Okay. But there is wear and tear in the building, and just like, and there's also wear and tear when community people use it, like Rotary or something like that. So I do think we need to somehow incorporate some sort of, when you say the weddings make this much, there should be almost like a FF&E number in it. Like, we assume that, weddings in total, maybe there's a $20,000 delta in something because it makes it look way more profitable than it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is what it is, but we should just realize. And then again, as the capital builds up, I don't know, would it come from you guys say, hey, we suggest to do it, and they get signed off to do X, Y, and Z. So,
and we keep them separate. They're in the same fund, but we keep weddings separate to self-sustaining, so we know what those fund balances.
If you had the enterprise fund set up,
yep,
and you build it up, you know what the balance is, you know what the cash balance is. It could go through the budget cycle the next year and say, hey, we want to do X, Y, or Z with this fund balance, and it has to get approved. I mean,
I go back to things like the pickleball courts. That went through the regular budget process, but could that have been help supported through this way?
Right.
Yeah.
And right now we do a summer camp as well. And like John said before, we have the best rates in town. We are like bar none the best rates in town. And that program is one of our profitable programs. And if we are able to take that money and put it back into the program, such as a pavilion, I mean, it's hot out there. There's not a lot of shade. So we put a pavilion there, and you put the, Bluetooth speakers, the fans, something like that. That'd be a home run for us for the camp as well, which would be great.
Okay. Thank you.
Steve Benko Pool. So as you know, we're dealing with water leak issues. We're dealing with a 21-year-old pool. We're working through them. Overall, we have
pipes buried 20 feet down.
Yeah, exactly. Which anything that's 20 years old in a seasonal building is probably worse than one that's open all year round that way. But overall, the pool's in good shape. We're going to have issues. You build a new house, you're going to have issues a year later, same type of thing. So we had over 35,000 scans last year. 35,000 scans, and we were never at the point where we're like, we better turn people away. Even on the busiest
how many passes did you sell? Do you know?
In 2025, we had 1,323 memberships. So that's including non-resident memberships where it gets a little,
Does that include like a family membership as one?
So
or is that, do you
family
count
membership
number?
is one. We don't count for four. So family had 725, individual had 121, nanny was 85, senior citizen was 250.
And say nothing about over 2,000 guests. We're in that 35,000. A lot of people will bring guests. We're looking a little bit to switch how we do the lottery, and we haven't finalized this yet. We find that it's, if you're from Darien, you've been a member, your family's been a member of pool, you've made friends, you might not get in the next year. So we're looking at possibly giving everybody that had a membership, out of town membership last year, first refusal. You have till this date, and then we do the lottery after that.
Kind of like nursery schools.
So, because people will go, oh, we had such a good time last year and we didn't get in this year. And they make their friends and everything else.
Yeah,
So,
I like that.
so we're looking to switch that.
How many senior citizens? You said 225?
So this is the number of memberships we sold. So it's 250 this year. So the members itself, so 250 because individual memberships, 250.
And the individual pass is how much? Because the senior is cheap. It's $80.
So we go for the price.
Yeah.
Or the number. The price, I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it was 140. Does that sound right? I can tell you in 2 seconds.
Offhand, I'm not sure.
I mean, it's a pretty big discount for senior. I mean,
It's a very big
Very
discount.
competitive.
And we actually entered in a veterans rate to that if you
Right.
wanted to this year.
if that was 100, it'd be still a bargain. Just saying.
Yes. You know, if
I know
we're-
you already set your rates, but I would just keep it in the back of your mind. You know, sometimes we over subsidize some groups and under subsidize others.
Okay. So with that, thank you. On your presentation, just so you know, it's there, but usually is the parks, the capital request. Usually we do that with Public Works, but I just included it there.
We want to try to get one video really quick. It might work, it might not, but we're gonna try.
I will say there's a big number in that capital. There's one big one that popped out.
A few big ones in there.
Really big one. Yeah.
See if this works. It does great. This was just from our summer camp this year.
3 years ago, we revamped our summer camp.
Not popping.
We wanted more fun. We wanted more activities for the kids. We added special events. We added field trips.
All right,
we
sorry,
added
never mind.
Chicago.
Send us a file.
Thought it would share it.
That will make this camp
No worries.
successful. I'm Leslie Yates. I'm one of the directors.
She's 27.
Yeah. It was a video. It's too
our
big
summer
to have inside the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you guys.
Need to update that sweatshirt. Got
One more year on it, right?
John, feel free to cycle out the lacrosse picture of my kid, who's now 27.
No.
Other people can have the glory. It's not that much glory. So.
Okay. We'll find something from before that.
Thank you.
So OEM's back in our file, or is it here too?
OEM, I think was
It's in our
today's.
Yeah, today. So I guess it's just in one place. You know what? Can we move
Everything.
just so it's all in one place after today? Can we move OEM into that budget file so we have all the budget presentations in the same place? That would be great. Thank you.
Where are we finding this one?
This one's back in today's meeting.
Okay.
So.
Good morning.
How was everyone doing? We're still locating here.
Yeah.
It's under 15B. It's under 15B, right? OEM.
Oh, you're doing it as we speak? Oh, so we can just go back?
Why is it? That's it. Shouldn't be.
I'm in the wrong year, I guess.
Right, 26. Okay. Right there.
That's why.
And go down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. And then 15B, where.
Oh, he moved it already.
Oh.
He moved it already.
Right.
All right, so let me go back
Not
to.
changing where I am.
I know, I'm like, so I go to Selectmen and I go to budget materials and it's called, what is it? Where is it? What's the name of the file? Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Morning.
Good morning. Okay, so emergency management budget request. So I think you're all acutely aware of the emergency management mission as it has remained stable over the years, although it's morphed a bit and included some new activities we're going to talk about in the presentation. Some accomplishments over the year, emergency management training that I led, where we completed as a municipality. So we led I led a joint exercise with Westchester, State of Connecticut, and the Fairfield Comms team at Waveney Park, which is the first time that, to my knowledge, that the two states and counties have drilled collaboratively. And we did it in New Canaan, testing regional assets in New Canaan, which better posits us. And it also forged what is now becoming a great relationship with our counterparts for the state of Connecticut, who manage the statewide radio system, which is something we'll talk about in a bit. We also, in partnership with Chief Bassett, have started to use the CERT team, the amazing community emergency response team volunteers, We conducted training for them where now they are responding with fire to major incidents automatically. So they're getting notification through one of our phone app devices. And not only are they helping us with traffic management, but they're also helping us with activities at the incident command post. There's a lot of administrative things that go on in a major incident. And they have been coming and showing up to these events automatically now, as opposed to along with the training that we provided them. So that's been a great boon. I think it's symbiotic because I think it expands their mission a bit so that they're doing some more than, I hate to say, traffic control, doing some more emergency related activities, which has been great. So that was a big win this year. I myself completed the All Hazards Communication Technician course, which was part of my learning as the manager of the public safety radio, or the person responsible for its budget, broadening my professional development in that regime. And these pictures here you see, we have the CERT team in the upper left-hand corner. I partnered with the Voices Foundation, the Voices Center for Resilience, who are just incredible partners, and we're so lucky to have them here in town. We've led a community preparedness event and seminar at the New Canaan Library. And also we have, I want to say taken possession of, we have been leveraging a regional asset, which is a vehicle barrier system, which had been kind of sitting and not being used for numerous events to better protect ourselves against, unfortunately, the realities of vehicle-borne attacks in partnership with PD. So big accomplishment this year is the commissioning of the new Emergency Operations Center as part of the police department renovation project. And we have already had 2 exercises in the facility itself. Big thanks to a ton of different partners between PD, IT, the CERT team, and others to get everything up and configured. And so we did the governor's annual training exercise there, which Gianna and others joined. And we also did an exercise with Aquarion regarding to dam emergencies and water emergencies. Other big accomplishments.
Russ, I think you should tell people that the real benefit of this is when you have an emergency, you don't have to set stuff up. You're ready to go.
Yes, absolutely. And
you know that. You used to have to bring stuff out and set it up. Now you're just boom, go.
We broke things every time. And it was always an after action item for, if you look at any of the after action reports from any of the Isaias, Sandy, Irene, any of those, that we needed a dedicated space because of that exact reason. We broke things every time. And when you would plug things in, they wouldn't work. They needed to download updates, or they were outdated, or the phones wouldn't work. So this is a space that is dedicated, available. I make sure it's checked. We download the updates on a regular basis, and it's also available for PD to use as a very good conference room or training room. So it's got multiple use. Plus CERT, now that Irwin is no longer their headquarters, it's available for them as well as a training location, and their equipment and supplies have been moved into the storage closet adjacent to it. So other major initiatives we launched. I led the process for the town hall safety improvements, which thank you again for your assistance with funding that, which includes the implementation of the Alertus system here in town hall. It was installed, tested, and we did our first drill this year for simulated lockdown. In partnership with HR, police, the fire marshal's office, the fire chief, I drafted and we implemented the municipal building emergency response protocol. And we, as I said, did our first lockdown drill. And also I mentioned we have the CERT automatic response. There were a number of other things we did at town hall, which if you'd like to talk offline or an executive session, we could talk about, but I think we covered those before. So that project was completed, and now we have a regular cadence where I think I feel confident, and I've heard a lot of really, really genuinely heartfelt positive feedback from our staff that they really appreciate it and feel safer as a result of it. So for our operating requests, a total 42,750. The biggest thing here, as Ryan was alluding to, and I guess I'm probably the first one, is some lines got moved around because of the fact that we're taking things out of one big bucket and putting it into more granular buckets. So the key change is the service contract line was eliminated. And I have a slide that kind of shows where those went. So the service contract line ended up getting split across more granular lines of software, fire security, office equipment, communications, printing and binding. The increases this year are because of 2 things specifically. It's literally only 2 things. It's Alertus, the town system, which is an annual fee of $66,890. And because we now have all of these devices for it, the speakers, the yellow push buttons, everything else, Chris and the IT team, as part of their project across the town, and I think you'll see this in a lot of other places, reallocated the cost for our network infrastructure. So it's based on, and I don't want to speak out of turn, but My understanding is it's based on the number of devices and the IP addresses that you're using. So I went from 500 to 1,999 a year because of the fact that there's a large number of devices that are tied to it. So that increases my share of that pie. I brought down training $1,000 because I've been very successful in getting free training, whether it's state or federal. In fact, this is probably the last year I'm going to ask for training funds because I've been successful in getting it other ways. So the reason it's still in there is probably we'll host a CPR course or the like for CERT team members. Repairs are down 500 because I just have the few things that I'm responsible for repairing, which are the VMS signs, the CERT vehicle, and we have the 2 trailers, the shelter trailer and the animal shelter trailer. We did a bunch of preventative maintenance. I did a bunch of work this year to get the shelter trailer itself restocked back up to it. So I think we're good for this year. In fact, I foresee that being forever. It's going to go down. Meals and events down 500 and uniforms and equipment down 500. So I brought all those down just based on the fact that I don't foresee them being spent. It's not necessary. So this is the slide that explains the service contracts. And so what we had was one line for 17,500, which is now moved into a number of other places. So software subscriptions includes Everbridge, which is our call out system, but also leveraged for things like our First Selectmen's newsletter and all the other things from Tiger and others. I have a $300 weather subscription, which is I use it every single week, which is a really great radar weather modeling application, which I also share that license with Tiger. And then
your portion of the app,
all in $300. Mm-hmm. Fire security is new, which is the Alertus for $68.90, which is a continuing. That license in theory gives us up to 7 buildings. So if we wish to, we can expand this. I've proposed it to the schools. I've not heard either way whether they're interested. I think they just fielded a new system at the high school, which is different than this. But I will continue to push to see, because we're paying for the license, and the only cost then is buying individual devices and then the IP addresses for them. So it's a very capable system, and we're happy with it. Office equipment is the shared emergency management office and fire marshal office. We have a printer, so we share it. And then communications is the UASI, which is the radio system that we, along with all of the other Region 1 towns, share the cost of maintaining, which is it's on the state radio system, and we use it for the 4th of July. We use it for large incidents. It's a separate trunked system. Plus, a couple of years back when we had the incident, the police department, where they lost their radios, townwide radios, and had to evacuate the building because of the battery fire that they had, UASI is our fallback. So our command staff is the work that I've been doing to get the all-band radios to the fire leadership, police leadership, and EMS. They are all capable of using this UASI system, which is great.
I perpetually get lost in all the different radios we have. Like, how many radios do you carry? I mean,
well, so the fire department acquired, the town itself has somewhere in the neighborhood of 300, 330 across all of the different. So that is, each patrol car has one in it, and then the police officers themselves have one on their bodies. Same with fire. Fire truck have one, and then the individual firefighters have them on their body. I also wear the hat as a volunteer assistant fire chief. Just have the fire rate. I have the OEM radios that we bought, and I have one. So on a fire scene, your command officers usually actually carry 2. Not to get too technical, but one is you're listening to dispatch in the outside world, where the tankers who's coming in to support us. And then the other one is tuned specifically to the people who are inside the building, because they're on a different frequency and you don't want to miss a communication of someone in trouble. So hopefully that answers the question. So yeah, UASI is a frequency. You have a knob you can select. We have our own that we maintain, which I'm going to get into. We have our own VHF system. UASI is separate. It's on the state system. And all the region towns participate in that and pay our share. So this is just the zero-based assumptions. So this is every single line, what goes into it, which I think is on your deck. I won't go through every one of this individually, but just so that in absolute transparency, you can see everything that factors into every one of the items. And then the capital request is modified. So I originally came in with a capital request based on, so the only capital item I have is the maintenance and sustainment of our public safety radio system. So 30,000 foot view, 2018, I want to say. Stuart Salvini, along with John DeFederico and others, led the project to refresh or rehabilitate our very antiquated radio system. So we have a system across town with a number of repeater sites and the brains and the consoles that all work. We own it. We're on an island. It's our own system. We own it. We maintain it. The choice was made at the time to do that because, and it was a pragmatic decision because a lot of folks had not moved to the state system yet. So it wasn't, the state system was good for the state police, but really the benefits of it weren't there yet. As I requested in July, we have a 5-year maintenance contract, which is terminating in June 30th of 26, calendar year 26. So this is to either extend or get a new contract to sustain the system that we own. And there's a reason why there's a couple different options. Initially, Motorola came in with a 31% contract over contract increase in price, which flatly I told them was unacceptable, especially considering they were unwilling to provide any real substance other than, oh, it's tied to inflation and not a
2.6%.
Right. So after an arduous, I asked for it in July. I finally got it in November, a picture of it. I actually got the actual proposal Friday, which is how much I've been fighting with this. So long story short, we're going to do some more. I've been talking, I think, prepping everybody for the last 3 years or so. Is it right for us to keep our own system? Is it better for us, as all of our peers except Darien have done, to move to the state system, thereby potentially lowering the amount of equipment we own by just jumping onto their system? But that is work that I need help with, and we have started with the state because the state will be the ones to work with Motorola to do that analysis because they have to do what's called propagation modeling to see what the towers that Wilton, Stanford, Norwalk all have put in over the last 3-4 years, which we would just get use of if we go to their system. Do we need to add anything for ourselves or not?
It's the same radios or
no, that's the downside. So we're on old, I don't want to say old, but it is VHF
10-year
band. More than that. VHF has been around since I started in the 90s.
No, the actual radios are how.
Oh, the radios themselves vary. I mean, the ones that we have are VHF only. The only ones that can talk on this this higher frequency, this 800 what the state is on, are the all bands that we've been buying in bits and pieces over the last few years, which is good because those lower the cost of what we would have to buy in a forklift switch should we do so to the state system.
So how many radios do we have old school that wouldn't migrate?
200 something, 250, a large, the grand majority of them. Because you got to think of it this way, it's
Yeah, 8 to 10 grand a pop, right?
yeah, in that neighborhood. But in speaking with Westport and others who moved the system, it was way less than that. What they quoted at 8, when you do a forklift upgrade or you change, the price came down substantively from the 8 to 10. But that's where they're starting. When I talked to
Did
them,
they say they got it for?
get an exact number. So
It's amazing.
yes, well, but it was substantively less than that because when in the discussions I've had with Norcom Motorola, they say start at 8 to 10 per radio, start at $1.5 million for a repeater site. So,
it was a lot. That whole list, it
yes,
added up to quite a hefty number.
And I'm not convinced either way yet.
31% increases year over year. At some point, we need to start thinking about, do we migrate to a different system? Because this is crazy how they've got us captive.
Part of that study you mentioned is to see if we needed additional repeaters, infrastructure. That's where the expense comes from.
Correct. And anything the
radios are minor compared to putting up new.
No? There's a possibility that a fair share of the equipment that was put into this, because it's the new stuff, could be leveraged and switched over.
Oh, okay. So same locations, just different.
Yeah, and this is exceeding. I'm pretty nerdy and good about radios, but we're going into radio engineer territory. So, but the conversations are ongoing, and I hate to say it, but the exercise we did in Waveney with the teams and with the state, part of my reason of doing that was to build those relationships so that they answer the phone and they're working with us, and they've been great. So it's just going to take some time. So we have 3 options. We can not do anything. We own the infrastructure, and then if something breaks, fix it. But we don't know what it would cost if it were to be done. We just came out of a 5-year contract where they replaced and everything is new and running. So, we're in good shape. The system is in a good spot for a year or 2. But you run the risk of, how could you budget for what piece of equipment might fail, which we don't know what it could be. So I've gotten from Motorola, as I said, after substantial begging, a 1-year sustainment 24/7 and upgrade contract, a 4-year, which was their initial proposal, 4-year sustainment upgrade contract. And so those are the three, and the fourth option is moving to the state, but that'll take time. That'll take analysis and time.
Did we find out with the 4-year if there's a breakage clause?
In my reading of it, there is no length. The only place to cancel or is in there, but I need professional counsel opinion. So I'm going to, this is, since I got it on Friday, my email today, after I'm done here, is going to be to counsel to say, can you interpret this and let me know what the terms would be if we were to break the 4-year? Because the 1-year bridges, but either way, the capital request currently was 188, which was based on their initial 31% year over year. The out years don't matter for the process currently. So one of two choices. We can either leave it as it is at 188 and bring it down because it's going to come down, or just bring it to the highest, leaving our options open, which is 179,216 for the 1-year contract. Well, 179,217 because there's 75 cents on it. And at least then we know we have the funds.
169 then, Russ, because I see.
That's the 4-year.
Yeah, so it's not 188, it's 169.
The original request that I gave Ryan was 188,092.
Yeah.
And then we talked yesterday because I got the new information Friday, which is what's on the screen. So the 4-year is on the bottom, which this year would be 169,813.74.
Right.
If we want the 4-year. But if we decided we didn't want to after the research, the higher, I would budget to the higher value to cover.
Do you think you'll have the ability by the Board of Finance meeting to have that, all that nailed in?
Yes, I am
Because
going
I
to.
just think, you know, we need to start thinking about.
I can't guarantee in the next 3 months I'm going to have a complete answer as to whether we should move to the state system or not. However, I will have answers as to breakage, what does it cost? Because in worst, I don't want to say worst case scenario, no matter what we do, we will end up paying either a 1-year or a 4-year to sustain it. It's going to take at least that much time if we decide to move.
It's just, we pay a $10,000 premium.
For a shorter contract. Correct.
One radio.
No.
Maybe 2 at a discounted price.
I mean, for all we've talked about this, and the numbers, to me, I'm not afraid of the numbers based on what this actually means in the field, because, you know, we can have all the trucks and all the cars and all the equipment that you want, but if this stuff doesn't work, then you're, you know, this is
Well,
where
it
all
makes
starts.
sense to have, I mean, you know, the fact that we have mutual aid, the fact that we would now have radios that can communicate across town lines, that people can communicate across, I think is the right way to go. It's just, you know, how much do we want to? Yeah.
And your point is,
we didn't have that option when we put this in place.
And your point is tremendous. Me as a firefighter, so taking myself out of it, it's absolutely a no-brainer from a safety operations standpoint. Moving to that system means instead of the 10 or 12 radios we bought dribs and drabs, now everybody can talk to everybody else except Ariane. They're the only other people who haven't moved to the system. And we work as mutual aid all the time. Plus, you get a bunch more frequencies and a capability because the technology is better. It's digital trunk system. Plus, you get the fact that we're not responsible for maintaining it. The state of Connecticut has a 24-hour network center with people who monitor this system across the entire state, and they're engineers. And they have the ability, and Deanna and I were talking about this, they have the ability to fight Motorola a lot better than we do as a small municipality. And they have the expertise that their engineers or former engineers that can look at a price sheet and a schedule of, and they'll know what the actual cost of it is. Whereas I hate to say, I have been unsuccessful in attempting to get actual numbers for what an Astro K-12 course costs. I can get bits and bobs from our neighbors, but we're in a difficult position as a small fish, as a small municipality.
I think this is a pretty clear, you know, cost benefit analysis. Right. We have this, and then you just PV it back, and you know, which is just the number side of it, which has nothing to do with the functionality side, which is a completely different thing. Which I'm hearing from you is just way better now that there is a state system that we could get on it.
Well, and we'll have a cost. Don't get me wrong. When Wilton moved to the state system, they added So we have 6 repeater sites and a head. So they added 4 or so, and they're paying 130, 140, I think, a year to maintain them. You can use a state system for free. Anything you add to it, you're responsible for maintaining. What I don't know is, are we adding 2 sites because everything around us is going to cover us? And then if we get to that point, once we do this study and we know how many it would need, then we can estimate the cost to carry long term. But I'm not going to lie, it's a substantial capital to switch 200-300 radios over. So more to follow.
Technology. It evolves in a great way, but it can be expensive.
Yeah.
And this system is used, just so you know, our system is currently used by police, fire, EMS, public works. And CERT is also on it, but when this was done, CERT, they leveraged the old stuff. So it was really a no cost. They leveraged the old stuff to add a frequency for them. So it really is touching across all your primary departments and public.
So once we make the change, if we were to make the change, everybody gets the new
that system. Yeah, we wouldn't keep our old legacy system. We would move to.
And you're talking about mutual aid for the fire, but that means mutual aid for police as well. You know,
correct.
Any kind of alerts going on, statewide.
Correct. Yeah, Norwalk PD's on it, Fairfield PD's on it, all of it. Yeah.
How are we leaving this, Russ? Or we just think you're gonna?
Either 188,093 or 179,216. I would recommend the 179,217, just so that we have it budgeted and then it will come down. Whether we go with the 1 year or the 4 year.
I see 169.
That's for the first year of a 4-year contract.
No, I know, but why do we have 188? I understand it's a first year.
No, he's saying 179.
That was the number I got in November.
He's saying put in 179.
Okay.
As the high number, hopefully it will go down.
9,217 would be the request.
Hard to book in the lower 1 year number when you don't really know if you can get out of it. So, but
down.
So you start high. We'll
work from
that's fine.
It's whether we're doing the 1 year or the 4 year, but I'd rather hedge my bet and keep the 1 year just in case it looks like, wow, we're going to do it. We're going to move. Okay. Then you only keep it for a year.
Okay.
Which I doubt.
Any residual?
It's going to take a couple of years.
Any residual value in those old radios? Probably not.
The VHFs, yeah, you can sell them. So I would actually strongly recommend, if once this is done, I mean, there are departments across the country who are still using this sort of stuff. So yeah, it would be an open govs for sure. Yeah, 100%. Including potentially a fair amount of the actual equipment that's running our independent system. But I would need Norcom's advice on that.
Right. Okay.
Thanks, Russ.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for all you do.
All right. So the next item on our agenda is an executive session. So I need to have Tucker. I don't think anyone else should be here. And yeah, I just texted Tucker. He should be here. So yeah, could I get a vote to go into executive session?
For the purpose of?
For the purpose of, pursuant to Connecticut General Statutes 1-200 for the discussion of a lease or real estate by the town, which when publicly regarding such lease would adversely impact the price.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Yes, I'm inviting Tiger in too. I just texted her. I'm like, all right. Okay. All right. So we are now out of executive session. It is 10:47. And if I could get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
It's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.